This video is brought to you by EWC Controls. The new EWC app will guide you through building the perfect zone system for your customer. Make sure to download it today on Google Play or iTunes.
I wanted to ask Gil about his a guy he had on a podcast a couple weeks ago. A guy named Rodney Cope. New flat rate.
Look the way Brent says it. The new flat rate.
I think he's a scumbag, and I'll say it right here. By trying to deceive the customer by changing the names of parts. That is a scumbag move. Maybe he's not a scumbag, but doing that is a scumbag move, and that is what I got a big problem with. And I just think that's bad, dude. That gives us all a bad name.
Wait a second.
I agree.
Who came up with those? Who came up with changing the names? Was it that
him,
dude?
right?
That
was
dude.
that guy.
That's his.
Well,
that's
then he's
his
a
sales
scumbag.
pitch. Yeah.
And he's a
All right, all
scumbag.
All right, Gil, what do you think?
I do, and I expressed, and I'll be honest, I didn't have it on the podcast, but I expressed some discomfort towards that. But
He didn't mention it very much in your podcast. I kind of noticed that. Yeah.
But let me ask you this though, and I was trying to think about this because I try to play devil's advocate and think both sides. Majority of customers, when you talk about the contactor, do they know what it is? They don't.
No. But why should
What
I?
you call it?
But why should I lie to them and call them something different than what it is? I'm going to call it by the proper name, and if they Google it, they Google it. I'm going to sell them on myself and my experience and my knowledge to put that contactor in properly for them, that I have it on my truck, they get a warranty behind it, all that other stuff, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to try to mask the name of it so they can't Google it and find out how much it costs.
I agree, and that's why I would never do it. But I kind of understand the pitches. Is a lot of times people get hung up on the parts that the customers don't know what it is anyway. So when you do the whole menu option, you're still doing these things, these different options, because most people, when they make a decision like that, they're making it kind of quick, which sometimes you don't want them to jump into it too quick. So,
and the menu option doesn't sound like a bad idea. It really doesn't sound bad. The problem I have with is changing the names of the parts. That's where I got the big issue.
I don't like that either, and I even said that I don't like it, even though a capacitor is technically a power absorption device. I don't like changing the name either. I agree. If they Google it, they Google it. It is what it is. But I even said that. I mean, the menu style, I mean, I kind of like it, but we would never do it. Me and the owner of my company talked about it, and he was like, "Yeah, screw that shit." He was like, I would never do that.
How much does that guy charge for that?
I have no idea.
Oh, probably a tremendous amount of money.
So why would somebody want to spend that much money with a company to make up their own flat rate?
But we don't know the amount.
But
I bet it's expensive.
But we need to find out. Here, I'm going to try to find out.
But I don't know if Hosier's in there. Ask Corey DeSormo. His company uses it, and he said that they're like they make way more money now. I don't know anybody that actually uses it, but
Right.
when I talked to him and Mr. Steve earlier, he said his company uses it and profits have went up, or I forget what he said, but something like that.
And Tersh was talking about using it for a while. I remember we had a discussion, and I told him that was several years ago, and I told him I thought it was sketchy to do, changing the names of stuff. But, and like, so if you go back to your menu pricing, like, so you're like, and still, like, I kind of, I don't know. So you go out there and you find a bad contactor, like you're saying. And then you tell them, well, we can change out your contactor and your capacitor. Even though your capacitor may be reading just fine, we can change out both. Is that really doing a service to the customer, or are you kind of ripping them off?
Yeah, no, I don't like that either. Yeah, I would never use it. I mean, I was like I said, I was trying to see the positives in it. I guess I like some parts of the presentation, just not the information you're presenting, if that makes sense. You know. Yeah, I could never do that.
Sure.
I'm trying to find out how much it cost, and I'm coming up blank. I guess you have to contact them.
Oh yeah,
and they contact you. Sorry.
Yeah, because it changes for everybody. It may,
It's like when you call them, like, "Hey man, I saw you guys had down there. How much is it? Why don't you come down and talk to me?"
Exactly.
Well, I feel about the guys that do the flat rate stuff the same way as lead generation companies, right? Everybody wants a piece of your pie. I mean, they truly do. And why would you want to give some outside entity money that you could use somewhere else?
To make money.
Can't you use the same concept that they're giving you to increase your profit
Sure.
without having to use them?
Sure. I
mean-
think there's a lot of back end work that I'm not trying to discredit what they do. They put in a lot of back end work to make these huge books and apps or programs and all this different stuff to make it
No, I
work.
get it.
And I'm not trying to discredit that. But yes, you could take that and you could put the work in yourself and do it yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Rodney Coop and the other one who was big on that is Joe Casera. I think he does something similar to that. I think. I could be wrong.
Just not a fan of that, man. I think that's dirty. Like, that's very dirty.
Yeah, I definitely don't like it. I don't know. They said if I wanted to meet with them, if I was interested in, for the company and stuff like that, and I was like, nah, I'm good at this time.
Gil, did they reach out to you for the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't have agreed. I would have told them to take a freaking hike.
Yeah, but I think
All right.
you present that stuff to people and then they make their own decision. You know what I mean?
No, I get it.
It's
It's
funny.
important.
It's
Yeah.
funny. I've had a few people like request to be on my podcast, and if I don't really want them on the podcast, I tell them it's going to cost them an absorbent amount of money, and so I figure if they agree to it, then it's like, all right, I made a lot of money, and I may have one shitty episode, but this is going to be great, and I just made a lot of money.